Hey everybody, welcome to TYTSports Locked Out. Ben Mankiewicz here outside the Young Turks studios. Big news today from the United States Patent and Trademark Office. Words I never thought I'd say. They have voted 2-1 in a ruling issued Wednesday that the name Redskins is disparaging to Native Americans. No shit. This is a significant ruling. It has happened before, and the team is trying to downplay it because they had an earlier ruling like this overturned in 1999 that was thrown out on appeal, essentially on a technicality, if I'm reading these stories correctly, because the district court who heard the appeal determined that the plaintiffs were too old and should have filed their complaint soon after the Redskins registered their nickname in 1967. Significantly, in this case, while the team is trying to maintain that the exact same thing will happen on appeal, and the team is appealing, the difference here is that the plaintiffs are much younger. They filed their case in 2006. It was heard in 2013. The ruling issued today. 5 Native Americans representing 4 tribes brought the case against the Ligue. The Redskins, as I said, have appealed. What that means is that right now the trademark is still in effect pending the appeal. If the appeal is not upheld, what it would mean is that any schlub, me, you, could stand outside that dumb stadium in the middle of frickin' nowhere and sell Redskin jerseys. And that would be awesome. This is a blow to Dan Snyder. He left the practice field today without commenting. The Redskin spokesman, though, a trademark attorney, for the Redskins, a guy named Bob Raskoff, said this: "We are confident we will prevail once again, and the Trademark Trial and Appeals Board divided ruling will be overturned on appeal. As I mentioned," he says, "this case no different from an earlier case when the board canceled the Redskins trademark registrations and where a federal district court disagreed and reversed the board." But here's what others had to say, including Maria Cantwell, senator from Washington. "This puts a big dent," she says, "in the Redskins' business model of trying to gain revenue from a disparaging term of slur. I find it very unlikely that someone is going to overrule the patent office on this. This is a huge decision by a federal agency." That's from Maria Cantwell. Also, Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid from Nevada says this. I love this. "Daniel Snyder may be the last person in the world to realize this, but it's just a matter of time until he is forced to do the right thing and change the name." 50 Democratic senators, all Democrats, sent Dan Snyder a letter earlier in the spring asking him to change the name. Obviously, we know how Snyder has responded to that. Let me read you another quote, this one from Oneida Indian Nation Representative Ray Halbritter and the National Congress of American Indians Executive Director Jackie Pata. They issued a joint statement. "U.S. Patent Office has now restated the obvious truth," and that's really what's important here, is that this is for rational thinking people. Whether you're motivated emotionally because you want the name to stay because it's the name you grew up with, as I did, that's not relevant. What is obvious is this truth, as they say, has restated the obvious truth that Native Americans, civil rights leaders, athletes, religious groups, state legislative bodies, members of Congress, and the President have all echoed. Taxpayer resources cannot be used to help private companies profit off the promotion of dictionary-defined racial slurs. And the dictionary-defined racial slur is pretty obvious. It is a racial slur directed at Native Americans. The rest of the statement is this: "If the most basic sense of morality, decency, and civility has not yet convinced the Washington team and the NFL to stop using this hateful slur, then hopefully today's patent ruling will, if only because it imperils the ability of the team's billionaire owner to keep profiting off the denigration and dehumanization of Native Americans." So I'll conclude by adding this thought. Just do the right thing, Dan Snyder. Get off the list you were on with Don Sterling as the worst owner in professional sports. Sterling may be on his way out. I want Sterling gone only because it makes Dan Snyder unequivocally the worst owner in sports. He can turn it all around here by doing one thing. I can't be the only person to come up with this suggestion, although I haven't read it anywhere, but it seems obvious to me. For crying out loud, the team plays football. The team's heyday was when they were led on the offensive line by the Hogs. Until last year, there were still those guys who dressed like female piglets in the stands. Change the name to Pigskin, keep the colors the same, drop the logo. Everyone in town will still call you the Skins. You can put skins on the helmet. You can put skins anywhere you want. Everything stays the same, but you, Dan Snyder, will have done the right thing. Pigskins is a weird name. I got it. but it is a football team, and I like it. By the way, real quick, this ruling on the trademark infringement actually doesn't affect the logo, but it applies to the use of the name Redskins on 7 different trademarks. The appeal is in progress, and they are allowed to keep the trademark stands during the appeal. Obviously, there will be more to the story as it develops, and every opportunity I have to rip Dan Snyder and the team, I will do so.